Better Call Saul Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am, you're watching Better Call Saul, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. If you're a fan of Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, or El Camino Breaking Bad movie, and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider smashing that like button. If you want to share this video with whomever you want, or put it on any of your social media platforms, that would be great. I'm not necessarily asking you to do that, but if you want to, fine with me. Sound off in the comment section below about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. Your predictions for the next episode, theories, your score of this episode, your character of the episode. I try not to give it to Saul Goodman or Jimmy just because he's the main character, but anybody else, in my opinion, is fair game. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. This will be Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 10. The title of this episode is called Nippy. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start off with the future black and white scenes. Not with Gene, though. We start with Marion. In fact, the whole episode is the future black and white stuff. And Marion is in a cart. She's played by Carol Burnett. She's going around the store. She talks to the butcher, and there's a free sample of Wisconsin cheese. And she mentioned something to the degree of, you can take your cheese back, Wisconsin. How could you say such a thing? I'm from Wisconsin. That's sacrilegious. Anyway, and then we see Gene posting up signs of his missing dog, Nippy, supposedly. And Marion is driving by, or riding by in her cart. She sees this stuff, and then she's kind of stuck on the ice before this. Like, she can't go any further in the snow and ice-ish, because it's snowing out in Nebraska. So Gene offers her a hand, and he eventually messes up her cart where she can't really move. And then we see the cab driver that drove Gene has arrived home. It's Marion's son, and Gene has been keeping her company. Gene has fixed Marion's scooter with duct tape, and Gene knows Marion's son wants in the game. That's why he's doing this. Gene says Saul Goodman can make it happen. He'll show him the game, and then they're done. So Gene arrives home and turns on the police scanner. Doesn't hear anything really useful on that. And then next, Gene is at the Cinnabon. It's closing time. He goes to the security office at the mall, and Gene apologizes for the lawyer comment he made to the security guards when he had passed out. And then Gene eventually gives the security guards Cinnabons to distracting Frank from watching the cameras. And he times these moments with Frank around 3 minutes, as it takes him 3 minutes to eat the Cinnabon. And then the next day, or night I should say, Gene does the exact same thing and continues to do so a few more times to make sure that it takes him approximately 3 minutes to, a little bit more than 3 minutes to eat these Cinnabons. So he goes into the clothing store and counts his steps, like accurate steps to see like every layer of the clothing store. And then the next day, he makes a maze that Marion's son will practice in. Is he's going to rob the store out of a certain amount. And this design he has in the snow of each like corner and square foot of the store. 3 minutes is the window. And then Marion's son says that's crazy. And then Gene gives him a motivational sort of story. He tells a story of about a 50-year-old chemistry teacher that was flat broke, coming into his office, and then he had a stack of money. I wonder who he's talking about there. So Jeff, I can't remember exactly what his name was. It's one of the two. Decides to go with the plan due to that motivation. And then Gene is running a scheme on Kathy, and she's the manager of this clothing store. I don't know if it's just men's. I think men's clothing store. She decides to let them keep a delivery at the store in the loading dock area, even though it's not that store's. It's the wrong store. And then Marion's son is robbing the store while Gene distracts Frank, the security guard, with the Cinnabon, the usual Cinnabon. And then he's doing really good. And all of a sudden he slips as he's running around the store. Because remember, he only has about 3 minutes. So he's passed out on the floor for a while. And Gene has to think of some sort of diversion, or Saul or Jimmy, whatever you want to call him in this episode, to keep Frank distracted. As it's, of course, gone past 3 minutes. And then he finally wakes up and eventually goes to put the rest of the stuff he had in the thing in the loading dock, and then goes to hide in the bathroom until the next morning when the store opens. And then he gets out of the store in the morning, and then he meets with Gene, and he tells him and his brother, and Gene tells him we're done. He made them steal a certain amount of money and says that's theft, that's this, that's that. I go down, you go down, and we're done. If he goes down, they'll all go down as well. And then Marion asks Gene about Nippy, and Gene says that he had found him, which obviously. And then the episode ends with Gene taking a break at the Cinnabon, in which he goes to the clothing store, checks out a shirt and tie, but decides against it and leaves, and that is what ends the episode. So I wasn't expecting a whole episode of Gene / Jimmy / Saul, whatever you want to. I don't like a show that has a character with 3 different names. It's hard. I still liked it though. I liked how he like kept timing Frank. It was really interesting. While it might not have been the best episode of Better Call Saul, it certainly was something that I watched and enjoyed for the most part, but hopefully we get some more less black and white stuff next time. Hopefully. I don't know. But the episode, I did enjoy it. As far as my score of this episode, I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. And I always say I don't ever want to give Saul / Jimmy / Gene the character of the episode. In this one, I almost did. But I'm going to give it to Frank, played by Jim O'Hare, because he was entertaining. And I like how Saul or Jimmy or Gene starts saying, "Oh, nobody cares about me. If I died, nobody would care." And he felt all bad for him. So I thought he was a good addition to this show. A nice surprise. A lot of people thought Walter and Jesse would be in this episode, and they weren't, surprisingly enough. So we still have some scenes for them at some point here soon. So those are my thoughts on this episode. Now, obviously, like I've said before, if you're a fan of these reviews, if you like Better Call Saul, if you like Breaking Bad, if you like El Camino or Breaking Bad movie, please go ahead and smash that like button. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Share the video with whomever you want, or put this video on any of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. Is there anything I missed? Are there any important details that you think I should know that I didn't talk about? Maybe I knew about them and I just didn't mention them, which I think I mentioned all the important things. Are there any crazy Easter eggs? I must say that his brother, earlier in the episode, kind of looked like Badger's cousin, the guy that owned the junkyard, kinda, for a second there, but I don't think it was him, Clovis or Cletus or whatever his name was. Just make sure you leave some in the comment section. You can score the episode if you want to put your favorite character in the episode, where there's not much to choose from. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, share your day of support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.